From story across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
I'm Mubin Hettiarachi and here are today's headlines. Government decides to recall all public servants to duty from January 3rd. World Health Organization says global COVID-19 pandemic crisis could worsen with the spread of Omicron and Delta variants. Milk powder prices increased amidst global market impacts. Accelerated measures on manufacturing and distribution of gas cylinders. Information system for all island-wide Buddhist temples unveiled to the public. Iran launches a rocket despite objections from Western countries.
We now move on to those and other stories in detail, and we take a look at local news first. The government has decided to recall all state sector employees for duties in an effort to normalize the state service from the 3rd of January. The relevant circular is expected to be issued in near future by the Ministry of Public Services, provincial councils and local government. This decision will be in effect under the health guidelines. A short address will be delivered by a doctor in respective institutions over the guidelines which should be adhered by state sector employees due to the COVID-19 outbreak. The state service was continued under various limitations for more than 1 year due to the COVID-19 outbreak. According to the notice issued by the ministry, all state sector employees should report for their respective duties from the 3rd of January. A total of 563 COVID-19 infected persons were detected from the country today. The number of active cases in the country is at 11,471. A total of 228 recoveries were reported today, increasing the overall tally to 560,313. The Director General of Health Services confirmed 18 COVID-19 related deaths which had occurred yesterday. A total of 33,687,102 vaccine doses have been inoculated to the people in the country under the COVID immunization program. Accordingly, 15,989,319 persons have received the first dose of the vaccine, while 13,840,279 have received both the doses. A total of 3,857,504 have received the booster dose thus far. A program to inoculate booster vaccine by visiting remote villages in Vavaniya area commenced today. Accordingly, Kuda Kachakodia residents received their booster shots today. Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. Hemanta Herath, urges the public to receive the booster dose without hesitation to protect themselves from the COVID-19 outbreak. He also requested the youth, especially university students, to get vaccinated for COVID-19 before the academic activities begin.
Seen kind of improvement in getting the third dose of Pfizer vaccine at the moment. Over 150,000 vaccine persons have received the vaccine daily over the past many days, and this is a very good sign where the most of the misinformation and beliefs that were not conducive to get this vaccine has now, I think, waning off, and therefore I would say that situation could improve. And taking the current situation into consideration, I would like to request everyone who has not taken the third dose of Pfizer vaccine up to now, if they have completed 3 months after getting the second dose, please make sure that you are going to get the third dose or booster dose of Pfizer vaccine on the due date, and thereby you can protect yourself and also you can protect your loved ones and the public in general from any type of adverse problems that might affect or that might happen in the future if you don't do it. And also I would like to request the university students about 20 years, if you have not taken the first and second doses of vaccine before going to joining the academic activities, at least get your first dose, and then if you have taken the first dose, take the other due doses during the appropriate time, so that you will be protected while doing your academic activities, and your colleagues also will be protected from any adverse outcomes that might happen.
Globally, more countries see coronavirus cases surge to the highest levels amidst the rapid spread of the Omicron variant. New cases of COVID-19 in the United States have soared to their highest level on record, largely driven by the highly contagious Omicron coronavirus variant. The new COVID-19 infections in the United States have reached their highest level on record at more than 265,000 per day on average. The number of new daily cases has more than doubled over the past 2 weeks, eclipsing old mark of 250,000 set in mid-January. Omicron has cast a dark cloud over Christmas and New Year holidays, forcing communities to scale back or call off their festivities. COVID-19 deaths in the United States have climbed over the past 2 weeks from an average of 1,200 per day to around 1,500. Indian authorities have started to impose stringent rules to prevent mass gatherings at parties and public venues ahead of New Year celebrations as nation seeks a spike in infections. Night curfews have been imposed on all major cities. The country reported 13,154 new cases and 268 deaths in the past 24 hours, with urban centers reporting a big jump. As fast-spreading coronavirus variant Omicron rages through the Western Europe, officials and experts in low-vaccinated Eastern Europe anticipate a post-holiday explosion of COVID-19 cases in much of the region. Several European countries, including France, Greece, Britain and Spain, also reported record case counts this week, prompting a ban on music and New Year celebrations in Greece and renewed push to encourage vaccination by French authorities. France reported 208,000 cases yesterday with a new national and European record. France has been breaking infection records repeatedly during the past few days. France could reach more than 250,000 daily COVID cases by the beginning of January as weeks of unrestricted Christmas parties and family get-togethers fueled the spread of the disease, French officials have said. Meanwhile, the Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, warns that Omicron and Delta variants have produced a tsunami of COVID cases, putting an immense pressure on the healthcare systems. Addressing an online conference today, the WHO chief stressed that the unvaccinated are largely at risk in both COVID cases. He's called for leaders of the government and industry to walk and talk on the COVID equity, both by ensuring consistent supply and assist national vaccination programs to inoculate the masses.
This virus will continue to evolve and threaten our health system if we don't improve the collective response. Right now, Delta and Omicron are twin threats that are driving up cases to record numbers, which again is leading to spikes in hospitalizations and deaths. I'm highly concerned that Omicron, being more transmissible, circulating at the same time as Delta, is leading to a tsunami of cases. The pressure on health systems is not only because of new COVID-19 patients requiring hospitalization, but also a large number of health workers are getting sick themselves. The unvaccinated are many times more at risk of dying from either variant. Omicron is moving so quickly. In addition to vaccination, public health social measures are also needed to stem the wave of infection, protect health workers and systems, open up societies, and keep children in school. In the year ahead, I call for leaders of government and industry to walk the talk on vaccine equity, both by ensuring consistent supply and helping to get vaccinations actually into people. This is the moment for leaders to banish the politics of populism and self-interest, which are derailing the COVID-19 response and threaten to undermine the response to the inevitable next disease X. While 2021 has been hard, I ask everyone to make a New Year's resolution to get behind the campaign to vaccinate 70% by the middle of 2022. We have 185 days to the finish line of achieving 70% by the start of July 2022, and the clock starts now. If we drive this campaign together, we will all be in a much better place by this time next year.
Normally we would do the...
In the meantime, the price rates of imported milk powder have been revised. Milk Powder Importers Association said that the increase of the milk powder rates in global market is the reason behind the new price revision. Accordingly, the new price rates will be effective from midnight today. 1 kilogram packet of imported milk powder has increased by 150 rupees. Accordingly, the new price is at 1,345 rupees. 400-gram milk powder packet has been increased by 60 rupees. With the new price rate, it's at 540 rupees. Representative of the Milk Powder Importers Association, Ashoka Bandara, said that the milk powder price is determined based on the international auction in the global market. He said that the price has gradually increased in the last 8 weeks at the auction. He further added that they will not be given the opportunity to place the necessary orders if they fail to adhere to the new prices. He also said that if they place the orders for previous rates, they will incur great losses and would not be able to maintain their companies. Therefore, he said that they had to revise the price rates. The representative of the association said that even though the rate was determined at 350 rupees in October, all the associations decided to enforce only 250 rupees to avoid any unnecessary pressure on the consumers. He said that they are expecting to maintain the rates within the existing limits in future. He also said that if the rates in the global market declined, then the benefit of the new rates will be given for the consumers in the country. Chairman of the Milko Company, Aruna Vikramasinghe, said that the local milk powder price rates will not be increased despite the imported milk powder price hike.
The unveiling of the system containing information on all Buddhist temples across the country was held under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The ceremony was held at Temple Trees last evening. The relevant information can be accessed through the website dba.gov.lk. The system was compiled by the Department of Buddhist Affairs. This project was implemented under the project to digitalize government institutions on the instructions of the Prime Minister. Accordingly, the launching of the website of the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, mbs.gov.lk, in all 3 languages was commenced under the patronage of Prime Minister during the ceremony. The duties related to the publication of the Buddhist information system are expected to be carried out through the same database from January 3rd. The registration of temples, the acceptance of positions of chief incumbents, and the opportunities for institutions and individuals towards the development of the temples will be formalized through the project. The existing database consists of information related to 13,927 temples in the country. The database also facilitates access to this information on a district level. The news database contains information of 10,417 Dhamma schools and 127,381 teachers attached to these schools, as well as the number of students. The latest information system, ccf.gov.lk, introduced by the Central Cultural Fund, was also unveiled under the patronage of Prime Minister. Accordingly, more than 100 submerged archaeological sites are expected to be included in the new system. These sites are expected to be declared as tourist destinations. The relevant information can be accessed from the relevant website. Venerable Dr. Agrahara Kasapathera and Secretary to the Prime Minister, Gamini Senarath, were present at the occasion. Four Sri Lankan Leo leaders who had excelled internationally received the International Lion President's Outstanding Leadership Awards from the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The felicitation ceremony was held at the Temple Trees today. Deputy Head Prefects of Royal College, Colombo, and the Leo Club member Binuja Amaranayaka, Deputy Head Prefect of Thurston College, Colombo, and past President of the Real Leo Club of Tharindra Ranavira, past President of Leo Club of Ananda College, Colombo, Sunera Lagarol, and former Student Council President of Horizon University and former President of Colombo Knights Leo Club, Indunil Udara Palivardhana, received the awards during the ceremony. Former President of International Lions Club Organization and advisor to the Leo Clubs, Lasantha Gunawardena, presented the collar of International Lions President to the Prime Minister during this occasion.
Litro Gas Company says urgent steps have been taken to accelerate the manufacturing and distribution of domestic and commercial gas cylinders at present. The company has planned to issue 180,000 cylinders to the market in the next couple of days. However, the daily gas requirement of the public has not been fulfilled yet. The Litro Gas Company has said that the daily filling and distribution of gas cylinders has been carried out 24 hours of the day. Accordingly, the company has said that the supply of gas to the market without any delays will be achieved in the near future. The Litro Gas Company has further indicated that the cylinders directed to LP gas filling stations are monitored in a formalized manner. Steps have been taken to avoid delays which occur during gas cylinder maintenance process. The company has facilitated necessary provisions to import required technological equipment and improve the conditions of service to accelerate the manufacturing process.
The section from Mirgama to Kurunegala of the Central Expressway will be vested with the public on January 15th next year. The stretch is 40.91 kilometers and has been designed to minimize the environmental and social impact. The new section has been built by passing urban areas and passing through vacant lands. This section with 4 lanes is considered as the most beautiful expressway stretch built in the country. It is also significant that the stretch has been constructed using local contractors with local funds. 5 interchange points with toll booths have been established in Mirgama, Nakalagomu, Dambokka, Kurunegala and Yangapitiya. The new stretch has been built at a total expenditure of 137 billion rupees.
The final day of the year 2021 is tomorrow. People will experience the dawn of a new year at midnight tomorrow. The national television has taken steps to telecast a special program for the dawn of the year 2022, bringing new experiences for the viewership of the country. This live program will be brought to the audiences from the first bridge built in the country on high technology cables, Golden Gate, Kalyani.
The awarding ceremony of the title deeds for families deprived of the right to land ownership in Mathura district commenced yesterday. Accordingly, 171 families received the title deeds under the preliminary stage of the project. The ceremony was held at Kambarapitiya area with the participation of Speaker Mahindayapa Abeyewardena and Minister Dallas Allah Peruma. The priority was given to low-income earners and Samruddhi beneficiaries when selecting the recipients of the title deeds. Minister Dallas Allah Peruma said that around 2,000 murders have taken place during the period from 1990 to year 2000. However, he said that the number has reduced up to 460 to 500 in each year. He added that the main cause of the murders is disputes over lands and the second cause is being in illicit relationships. The minister further said that under the present legal system in the country, cases over land disputes would continue for generations, which has no ending and would ultimately result with murders.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa paid his last respects to the late Venerable Buddhangala Ananda Thera, who was residing at the Buddhangala Aranya Senasana in Ampara today. The remains of the late Venerable Thera were kept at the All Ceylon Buddhist Congress Hall, Colombo 7. After paying last respects to the remains of Venerable Buddhangala Ananda Thera, the Prime Minister expressed his deepest condolences to Minister Sarath Veerasekara, the elder brother of late Thera, and the relatives. Spouse of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Shiranti Wickramasinghe Rajapaksa, also paid her last respects to the late Venerable Thera. Many government and opposition public representatives were present at the premises to pay their last respects. Venerable Buddhangala Ananda Thera was 78 years of age at the time of his demise. His lay name was Ananda Veerasekara, who was a Major General who served in the Sri Lanka Army and a Commissioner General of Rehabilitation. The late Thera was ordained as Buddhangala Ananda Thera in 2007. He had authored a number of Dhamma books and published several translated books as well. The Mahasangha performed their religious rites for the remains of the late Thera, kept at the All Ceylon Buddhist Congress Hall, Colombo 7 today. Subsequently, the remains were taken to Ratnalana Airport on a special vehicle parade to be taken to the Buddhangala Aranya Senasana in Ampara. The final rites of the late Thera will be held tomorrow evening.
The National Authority on Tobacco and Alcohol says that taxes would be imposed on tobacco and alcohol in order to avoid damages caused from the usage. The chairman of the authority, Dr. Samadhi Rajapaksa, made these remarks while speaking at a media briefing held at the Ministry of Mass Media. Chairman of the National Authority on Tobacco and Alcohol, Dr. Samadhi Rajapaksa, said that only consumer commodity that put more than half of its consumers at risk of dying is cigarettes. He said that 8 million people in the world die due to the usage of tobacco. He said that a total of 110 people in the country succumb to daily due to the usage of tobacco and alcohol. He also said that people spend 1,000 million rupees on daily basis for alcohol and tobacco. The chairman of the authority said that taxes imposed on tobacco should be further increased in order to make an impact on tobacco prevention.
The restructuring of the Forest Field Training Institute in Inamalua, Sigiriya, and the construction of surrounding buildings have been expedited. All constructions are expected to complete on January next year. Accordingly, this institute, along with new courses, will be opened for local as well as foreign environmentalists. Environmental System Conservation and Management Project provides necessary financial assistance for this initiative. This has been carried out under the Ministry of Wildlife and Forest Conservation. The Forest Field Training Institute will be equipped with new facilities, including quarters for officials, student hostels and tourist lodges. The exploration program Vesagiri, recorded surrounding the Sigiriya, will be telecast on the national television at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Initiatives under the 100 Towns Development Project have reached the final stage at present. The relevant project was initiated under the Vistas of Prosperity policy statement targeting areas and towns not developed for many years. This project has been initiated by the Urban Development Authority under the instructions of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and steered by State Minister Nalaka Godaheva. The development projects in Puttilam, Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa districts have reached their final stages at present. The Chilamadampe Weekly Fair Development Project has been completed at a cost of 67 million rupees. The Puttilam Thoppua Development Project has also reached its final stage. The Ministry of Urban Development and Housing has announced that accelerated steps will be taken to complete 30 projects planned for each 25 districts under the 100 Town Development Project to invest with the public.
That's it for tonight's English News telecast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Have a pleasant night.